often affect areas in Australia that may be close to our homes or maybe quite far away. Bushfires can often occur in places that are dry, don't receive a lot of rain, and have a lot of dry vegetation around it. Floods can often happen in areas where there are high rainfall, so in specific parts of Queensland there are lots of rainfall, and especially around water systems. As they get a lot of rain, they eventually overflow, which can sometimes cause floods. And a few other causes of bushfires, for instance, can be natural causes such as lightning, dry vegetation, and a combination of heat and a source of fuel. Sometimes fires can be set deliberately by a person, sometimes even be by flicking a cigarette butt out into the environment can often start a bushfire. Both these disasters can have really great effects on people. A lot of people can become injured or even lose their lives in disasters of bushfires and floods. They lose their house, their belongings and their cars, their homes, their buildings, their businesses. They get damaged either through damage of fire or water damage from the floods. They feel a lot of distress when a town is hit from a flood or a fire. The aftermath can be quite harsh on people, and it's a lot to get their lives back on track afterwards. There is a little bit of benefit. For instance, when we have a flood in an area that might not often get a lot of rain, it can be a blessing in disguise, sort of, in the sense that the area finally has rain, even if it is a bit too much. Another terrible impact of bushfires and floods is the effect it can have on the environment itself. So, as most of you can think, if a bushfire or a flood came along, all the animals in the wild would have to escape or try and find a different home. A lot of them would lose their lives. We would have vegetation and environments that are completely destroyed by bushfires or completely submerged in water, which can be really hard in helping them regrow again. Well, see, that being said, there are some species of plants that do grow better after a bushfire has occurred in the area, or sometimes after there's been a lot of flooding in the area, if the area has not received a lot of water recently. So there sometimes can be some benefits to bushfire and flood disasters. There are quite a few things that we can do to help prevent and manage and prepare ourselves for these disasters. As you can think, there might be some strategies in place in your local school or in your local community, or maybe your family has plans in case a bushfire or a flood struck in your town. So as you sometimes know, we sometimes have these burn-offs that happen in the dry areas of Australia. These are controlled and they help us prepare and make way for possible bushfires that could be even more damaging. Because these are controlled, there are lots of people and volunteers who work together to manage to prevent our towns being hit by bushfires. In local areas where floods and fires are affected, communities do have strategies and plans for evacuation if the disaster does occur. It's important for people to stay informed, so listen to your radio, your news, TV, anything. Keep updated on your weather conditions and the disaster conditions. Have your own personal preparation plan and evacuation plan in order. Listen to social media to see where's a good safe place to go, and most importantly, who to contact. So if we are caught in a bushfire or flood, there is a state emergency services and other volunteer services that can help out in states of dire emergency. While other services such as your firefighters and your paramedics and everything are attending to the actual disaster and people affected by the disaster. It is important for people to have an appropriate response when disaster occurs for their own safety and for the safety of their community. After disasters occur, there is usually a terrible aftermath where local communities are damaged quite badly, and it will take time for some regrowth to occur, but it is important that everyone in the community can help and volunteer their time to rebuild it all again.